All praises to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how even the citizens of Babylon the Great, when they get destroyed, are not going to be mourned, man. Right? And I was just thinking about this with all the stuff that's going on right now with what's being done to Venezuela, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, if that starts to boost the American economy, and the average American citizen starts to realize, man, we're getting a better life out of this because they've now basically turned trying to turn Venezuela into an oil station that benefits them financially. That's pretty much what they're saying. Pretty much, man. They ain't really hiding what they're trying to do. They're pretty much saying that the average citizen of the average citizen of Babylon the Great would ultimately not care. Right? If every single thing that's being done in America right now was to extract wealth from Venezuela, right? And the average American citizen, every single American citizen, or the average American citizen, was to get a $20,000 boost to their salary, right? If every single person in America was to get extra 20,000 a year that they can do whatever they want to do with it now, they wouldn't care about what's happening in Venezuela. They wouldn't care. The only reason why these Edomites are even starting to try and somewhat talk about what's going on in the world and to start to expose certain secrets, because financially they're losing right now, right? And they're realizing that they're a loser when there's not an unfair advantage. That's what Esau's starting to realize. When there's not an unfair advantage in their favor and things are actually truly on an equal playing field, they start to slowly lose every single thing that they ever built. Because the way you build your society is the way you have to keep it, man. And they got their society by stealing everything, stealing lands, pillaging, robbing everyone. So that's the way they have to keep it, man. But that's also the same way how Yahweh's going to make them lose it too, right? They're going to lose the same way how they was trying to get these things, man. Now, let me go to this, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the rule of the city is, such a day that dwell therein. And I've seen certain comments on certain videos, right, where people are saying stuff like basically, so what? In regards to what America's doing, what Babylon's doing, Babylon the Great's doing to Venezuela, because there ain't nobody that can do anything about it. That's how they think. And just like in Wisdom of Solomon 2:11, they say, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And that's how certain grimy Israelites live in that street kind of world. They go around, try and boy men up, and they just always assume that no one's going to ever be able to do nothing about it. Same thing with men that go to the gym. They do that bodybuilding and they just think that they're so hard. They think that they're such a tough guy. And they think, man, I'm bigger than everyone around me and no one's going to ever say nothing to me. Man can't even chat to me, you know. They try and come with all of that. But then they come to realize that men can not only chat to you, they can break your jaw. Men can't not only chat to you, they can hit your head in the head with a roundhouse kick. And America, which is Babylon the Great, is going to realize that people can chat to them, right? And not only can they chat to them, they can burn them with fire, just like how America can burn others with fire, man. All the things that America is doing is slowly making everyone realize that they're just a bully. Just like, nah, this guy is just a bully, man. He just wants to bully everyone. And we can't allow that, because eventually, once they've taken everyone else down, they're going to turn to me as well. It's like a flipping a situation where there's like a crazed lunatic just unaliving random people on like if you let's say you're on an airplane and there's a guy that's just going around and he's unaliving everyone, and he's starting from the back aisles, and then he's just bam, 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 and he's slowly taking out everyone, and then he's working his way up to your aisle. Now some people in this world are so dumb that they're gonna just freeze up and be like, I hope he stops. Whereas other people are gonna be like, you know what? Fuck it then. What we may as well just go or rush after him, because eventually he's gonna work his way up here anyway. That's what these nations are gonna do to America. They're gonna be like, you know what? They're slowly taking down all the weaker opponents first, and then they're gonna gradually move on to the stronger opponents, because Every single weak opponent that they take down, they're building themselves stronger. America's trying to become a global energy superpower by taking over Venezuela. That's the truth of the matter. Now, are they going to blatantly say that? Well, not in so many words, but there's a certain thing that I've been reading, right, that I downloaded a while back, like in 2024. And every now and again, I just look into certain things and see what's happening in there. And basically, a lot of the things that they've did recently, they planned that they was going to be doing it from like 2022, even further than that, man, including pretty much what they've did with Venezuela. Now, let me carry on reading this verse too. And what man of man the rule of the city is, such a day that dwell therein. So the leaders of Babylon the Great are weak, wicked, and evil, right? And guess what? So are the citizens, right? The citizens are just as wicked. And if the average citizen in America was to be in the position of the elites that control America, they would do the same thing. And unfortunately, that even goes for certain wicked Israelites too, man. They do the same thing as Esau as well. And it comes out when some of them become mayors, they become lawyers and stuff like that. They become police officers and they get power over people's lives. And you just see how wicked they do. They do worse to certain Israelite police officers are worse towards Israelites than what Esau's like. Right, recently there was a situation with an elder where Jake was just in their face, just running his mouth, and then an Edomite came up and tried to get them hemmed up or talking about these guys were being a jerk to me, as if being a jerk to somebody is a arrestable offense, right? And he thought he had one. And that so like that exposed that Esau is an opportunist as well, man. He'll wait his moment, man. And then after he tried to get them arrested, he tried to come back later and be like, "Oh, I love you," which shows how he is, man. He'll try and fake love you to the moment he gets to screw you over. Then if the screwing over, if you don't work, he'll try and think he can try and come back with some fake love without actually even doing anything to prove the so-called love that he claims anyway. Like, he's just a demon, man. But the average American citizens like that, they talk all this love. They used to scoff the Israelites. What about, they're preaching hate. They're teaching hate. What about love? What about love? And these same people have got a checklist and I've got a database full of hateful comments that they've spewed out on YouTube, man. And just wait till these digital identifiers come out, man. You watch how these comments on YouTube start softening up, man. A lot of these racial comments that people be spewing out about even us, even so-called black people, them YouTube comments are going to start softening up all of a sudden, man. People ain't going to have as much to say all of a sudden. They ain't going to have as much running to them gums to be saying all of a sudden, man. Because they're going to know that their comments going to be identifiable. So they're all of a sudden going to start trying to speak it in more code. A lot of these people ain't going to have to be so bold to run their mouth no more, man. Now, I want to go to the prophecy of Revelation 18, right? And go into how the Babylon the Great is not going to be mourned. But it's not going to not be mourned because, oh, the elites there were wicked. Because what about all the citizens, man? The citizens ain't even going to be mourned. The citizens ain't going to be mourned because the citizens that ended up in a lake of fire in Babylon the Great, right? Those have got to be some extremely wicked spirits, man, that Yahweh wanted to go through that. Because not every single person on earth is going to go through that. But certain people have been chosen to go through that. And the destination, the journey of them even ending up in America might have been vast, man. A lot of people that are going to get destroyed in America, Babylon the Great, they weren't born there. A lot of people traveled there, man. They're through their lifestyle that they've lived and through their family lineage and all that. They made their way over there. It's not that they were just born there and it's the luck of the draw. But then even that, Yahweh made you be born there. Yahweh made your spirit dwell in that place. And if you ain't of the elect, that's going to be where you leave the earth, man. It's not going to be no game. Now, let me go to this. This is Revelation chapter 18. I'm going to go straight to the point. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, because all the customers, which are the citizens, they ain't going to be around as well. And it's the citizens that buy buy the goods, right? The elites buy them and have them brought over. But why do they haven't brought them over? It's because the citizens buy them. And the merchants ain't going to be mourning the citizens. They're going to be like, man, all them nice, kind-hearted people that just got completely obliterated in a by the ICBMs, they're gone. Those people were all lovely and so nice. They ain't gonna be mourning them like that. They're gonna be mourning the financial loss, right? That's gonna be mourned. The financial loss. It's gonna be about the financials, not about these individual everyday Americans that are now no longer around. That's not gonna be what's mourned, man. It's gonna be the loss of finances. It's not gonna be the elites certain of the lower level elites that might end up in the flames. It's not going to be about the average American citizen that's not of the elect that ends up in the flames, and the so-called millionaires and all these people that thought that they was doing something, but they didn't have the money to get no bunker, and they was proud, so proud that they didn't believe that America was going to fall, so they stayed in America, even though they might have had the finances, they might have been a millionaire, but they was so proud and trusted in America that they didn't be like, you know what, let's get out of America and take our money and leave, because they was like, well, I can't get this kind of lifestyle anywhere else. So they didn't think, you know what, let me take my money and run, because it's getting a bit too hectic out here. And according to prophecy anyway, certain people are not going to be able to leave. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. Certain people are going to want to leave, and then you're not going to be able to, man. Once things start getting really down to the wire, you're going to be made to be a part of the soil of this earth, of that place, man. You're going to become part of the lake of fire yourself. You're going to be part of the fuel for the lake of fire. A lot of you scoffers, man. Verse 12, and the merchants of gold and silver and precious stones. Who's buying the precious stones? Is it not the citizens of America? But they ain't gonna be what's being mourned though. And pearls, ain't the citizens buying the pearls? And finally, ain't the citizens doing that? And purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and of iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. These are all things that the citizens of America took part in, because the citizens of America are wicked as hell too. The best thing in America right now is the apostles, the elders, and the prophets, the brothers that might not be elders or apostles, the elect of the nation of Israel that are dwelling over there, the men, women, and children. That's the only thing that matters over there. It's not about, oh man, what Rucker Park's finished, but people used to do one street ball match over there, so it's messed up, yo. But this is where they shot trading places. That's crazy, man. Oh, but look at all the NBA arenas but Madison Square Garden's gone. Oh, Sunset Boulevard ain't around no more. Oh man, Miami. Oh, but this is where they shot the Scarface movie. This is crazy that this place is gone. Oh man, Las Vegas is vanished. Mayweather fought 50-0 in all of these places, man. He became unbeaten here. Oh, this is where Michael Jordan first hit his first 3-pointer. No one ain't gonna care about that. Forget all that. America is gonna be a continual reminder. Once what happens to it happens to it, it's gonna be a continual reminder of how terrible that place was. All the rulership of America and everything that it stood for is gonna lead to it being a destroyed place. That's a memorial of how to not lead a society. That's what America is going to be an example of, how to not lead, right? And the Edomite nation in general is going to be an example of how to not be. America is going to be an example of what happens when you live like this way. And the whole nation of Edom is going to be an example of how to not live. Don't be like these people, because look, these people, right, don't exist anymore because of how they lived. And the main place that they showed pride to and respect to and trusted was great. That place don't exist no more. They ain't gonna be no memorial of Esau, man. His favorite place, America, is not gonna exist anymore when it's all said and done. And him himself is not gonna exist. Yahweh is erasing the memory of Esau, man. There's too much evidence of Esau's existence in America right now, and Yahweh wants to get rid of all that. He don't want no one to remember anything to do with Esau, man. Esau's DNA is too heavily in America. Yahweh's going to have to rid it so that it's not even livable for humans anymore. Do you understand? Yahweh don't want humans to live in America anymore, but it's stained. The place is stained by Esau, man. It's a stained place, right? Its memorial is going to be, this is how you don't live. Don't live like this. Verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more. Oh, there ain't going to be no evidence of this stuff. It's all going to be gone. There ain't going to be no, oh man, but this is where they shot the Iron Man movie. No, they ain't going to be none of that. They ain't going to be, oh, this is Hollywood, where there ain't going to be no evidence of none of it. It's not going to exist. And the point I'm making in this video is people are not going to mourn the elites. They ain't going to mourn the place. They ain't going to mourn the people that lose their lives there. And it's going to be men, women, and children, man. Little babies are going to be part of that lake of fire. And people are not going to be mourning them. They're going to be mourning the loss of funds, man. Verse 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her, they're going to be mourning the money, shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. They ain't going to be trying to get in the mix. They ain't going to be trying to see, you know, like when there's normally a fire, right? Which you can't undo this fire anyway, because it's going to be a nuclear one, ICBM's one. But like, let's say, and this actually happened in an area that I used to grow up in, actually. I'll tell this story, right? There used to be this Israelite woman around the area that I used to live in, that, yeah? And she was not very nice to the people that lived around there, right? And there came a day where her house ended up on fire, man. Her whole house ended up on fire, right? And nobody in the neighborhood, I didn't live in that neighborhood anymore at the time, and all of my family had moved out of there by that time, right? But the way how the story goes, from what I heard, is that there came a time where her whole house burned on fire, her whole house set on fire, man, right? And not one of the other people that lived around there decided to go into the house and try and help her out of the house on fire. She was an old woman, right? She must have been up in age by the time we didn't live there no more. She must have been like at least in her 70s, right? And from what the story I heard is that she was banging on her window for people to try and help her, and nobody helped. They stood afar off, right, for fear of that torment, man. Except they weren't weeping and wailing from the story I heard. And when the person told my mom the story, she actually was laughing when she was telling the story about how she died in that house fire, man. Showing that woman was not liked. That woman must have really not liked her to tell that story and laugh about it, man. Now, if that's what's done for an Israelite woman that just wasn't liked in her neighborhood, how much more enjoyment do you think the Israelites are going to have when Esau gets it, man? If I'm alive to see Esau get taken down, man, I really think I might cry. To be honest with you, I think I might cry the most. I might be worse than that meme guy. I might be worse than him, man. The tears of joy that I'm gonna be running down my face, man. I might dance. I've never even did a backflip before, man. And I might be prepared to attempt a backflip, right? And risk busting my ass, landing flat on my face, just because of how happy I'm gonna be that Esau's taken down, man. I might do 2-3 cartwheels in a row, try and hit a handspring when I've never done that before, and try and hit like a backflip, man. At the good riddance of this Edomite, man. Jakes out there that don't even smile. They're gonna be showing bare teeth like a Cheshire cat, man. The most stoic man is gonna become a bit Epicurean in that moment. Brothers that don't sing, they know they got a terrible singing voice. They're gonna be singing, man. Mans that don't normally dance, they're gonna start dancing, dropping 2 foot. Eve and Jake are gonna be hugging each other, and they ain't gonna become no Eve and Jake no more. They're gonna be an Israelite man and an Israelite woman. They're gonna be hugging each other, dancing. The children are gonna be dancing. We're all gonna be happy. Verse 15, and the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as stood and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. They ain't gonna be mourning the people. It's gonna be about the money, man. They ain't gonna be mourning what used to happen in America neither. Oh, America, back in the day, that American, they ain't gonna be mourning the American dream. They're gonna be mourning that the people that used to buy the things don't exist no more, but not because the people don't exist anymore, because of the money. If they could still get the same money without the people, they wouldn't mourn Babylon the Great getting destroyed in the first place anyway. They wouldn't care then. But it's going to be about the money. America almost consumes, I've seen something the other day, the average American citizen almost consumes as much beef as the average Chinese citizen, which is a lot because there's 3 times more people in China than there is in America. So how is the average American almost consuming equal amount of meat as what's consumed in China? That doesn't even make much sense. There's way more people in China, way more. Verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God have avenged you on her. Yahweh is destroying it for us because he knows that we want to see it burn, man. He knows that place has grieved the nation of Israel's soul, bro. And again, the people are not going to be mourned, neither the place. It's only going to be about the money. It's only going to be about the money, and we're gonna start seeing why the people are not going to be mourned, man, because the people are going to start exposing that they're wicked as hell too, man, and that they're down with the agenda of Esau. They don't care about what Esau is doing around the world, as long as it makes their pockets fat, man, which it somewhat will. It somewhat will. Not really, though. Not really, man. And on that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.